Hi, this is Scott Voak with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty, and today I want to talk about things you as a seller can do in a very strong market to protect yourself from having problems in escrow. This is part 3 of my video series for sellers on how to control a transaction in a hot market to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. In the first 2 videos, we talked about doing pre-inspections and vetting the buyer's agent and the lender. What I want to talk about today is the actual contract and how you handle the contingency periods to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. So first of all, when you get into a counteroffer situation, we've already talked about sending over a pre-inspection, but we're finding that in certain markets that are rapidly appreciating, we're having appraisal issues. And you don't want to get into a transaction, have found your replacement house, be set on that, and then have the appraisal miss and be renegotiating your contract 14 days into escrow. So in your counteroffer, have your agent include that buyer to indicate how much above appraisal they're willing to pay. Now, I realize this is nothing that you can actually hold the buyer to legally. But what you're trying to do is set the expectation in the buyer and find out what their willingness is to bring in extra cash. This is one of those situations where looking at a proof of funds is also very important. Does the buyer have not only enough money for the down payment and closing costs, but could they pay $20,000 or $30,000 more, and are they willing to? So get that question out there during the counteroffer process so that you're not dealing with it 14 days later. The second thing I want you to be concerned about in the contract has to do with the contingency removal period. In the state of California, the standard contract allows for 17 days for contingency removals on inspections, appraisal, those sort of things. But it provides 21 days for the loan contingency. What we're seeing is buyers not wanting to remove that contingency. The key here is if all contingencies are removed and the buyer backs out, you theoretically get to keep their deposit. If contingencies have not been removed, they get their deposit back. So as you can see, if they don't remove contingencies, you, the seller, are taking all the risk for the buyer losing their job, somebody getting sick, any number of things happening, when it's really the buyer's responsibility to do that. So what I like to do is include a clause in the counteroffers that the buyer does not get occupancy until close of escrow or a certain number of days after all contingencies have been removed. This then puts the onus on the buyer. If he doesn't remove contingencies, he's not getting occupancy because it's a huge risk for you. If you're going into temporary housing, an apartment, you've got to sign on deposit and you don't know if the deal's done. So this allows my clients not to spend money, not to take risk until they absolutely are sure that their home is going to escrow. If you're unsure how this works, give me a call. I would love to walk you through it. If you know anybody who's thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in San Diego, please have them give me a call. I would love to talk to them. I'm Scott Voak with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty. This concludes my 3-part series on helping sellers maximize their revenue and lower their risk in a very, very hot market like we're seeing now. Welcome back. I'm Scott Voak, and I'm here with Ken Reed, Sales Manager for Finance of America, and he's graciously agreed to come on and give us some tips on mortgages. Ken, how you doing?
I'm great, Scott. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're on board. Here we go. Let's start, because this is going to be the first of several videos I hope we do. Let's start with the basics. First-time home buyers, what are, say, 3 most important things that you're looking for from a new buyer when they're going to buy a house and looking for a loan?
The 3 most important things that lenders are going to look at are credit,
Okay.
income, and assets.
And assets. Okay.